Hi and welcome back to another video. So I am currently watching Destiny's recent video. The video that she recently posted is the video that is going to be today, so I'm going to be reading until I get a 5-star read. I've seen a lot of YouTubers doing this trend and I thought I'd give it a go. I know that I'm a really slow reader. I kind of seem to rate most books I read a 5-star, so I want to try and challenge myself, try and not just be dead lenient with it, but we're just going to get straight into this video. So what I'm going to read is The Way I Used to Be. I have started it, I've almost finished it. I've got like 120 pages left, so I'm like 60% through, but I need to finish this because I have got other books I do want to start, so I'm Hi, so yesterday I read 9% of the book. I've still not finished, but I've got like 30 pages left, so I'm very nearly done. And I have read a little bit of it today, so I am just trying to get through it. But I am nearly done, so I'm hoping to just finish it today. Right, so it's been a few days since I last recorded. I have finished The Way I Used to Be and I rated it 4 stars. Weren't the biggest fan of it. It was a really slow book, put me in a really bad reading slump, but I have started without hitting myself in the face. Daughter of the Pirate King. So far I'm on chapter 6, so I'm trying to get through it, but this is the one I'm reading now. Right, so not yesterday, so the day before, I started reading Daughter of the Pirate King, which I did show me starting it. Basically, I read like 60% of it when I did. I didn't read yesterday, I haven't read today yet. But, so I'm 60% through. I'm on chapter 16. And I won't lie, so far it is really good. I know it's the second book, but it could already be a 5-star read. I'm hoping not, only for the fact of this video. I don't want it to be too short because I know recently they've been quite short, but it might be because it is a really good book and it's the first book that I've like not been able to put down, obviously apart from the past 2 days, but that's because I got the new Hogwarts Legacy game for PS4. That's the only reason why I haven't read, is because I've been hooked on that game as I've been waiting for like 2 months for it to come out for PlayStation. So I am going to end up reading again tonight because I do want to read more. I want to know what happens and I can't wait to find out what happens, but I'm just hoping that it's not a 5-star read. And I think I'm going to put like a poll up on Instagram just asking if it is a 5-star read, do I just end the video there or do I read another book and just hope that's a 5-star read as well? Because obviously I've only read, this is the second book I've read and I really don't want this to be the only, like, not the only book, but like I don't want this to be the only part of the video that there is. I am hoping that there is a little bit more, but we're just going to see how it ends up because I haven't got that much left of it. So hopefully finish it tonight. If not, then I'll definitely hopefully be finishing it tomorrow. Hello. Right, so it's been a few days since I last recorded anything. I have finished reading this. Unfortunately, it was a 5-star read. Well, not unfortunately, but more of the fact that that means the video is pretty much ended now because it's reading until I get a 5-star read, which, to be honest, at first I thought it was only going to be 4.5, but I absolutely loved it. I couldn't put the book down like at all. I'm waiting to get the second one because I just love this one so much, and I found out today that she's I think she's currently writing the third one, which I'm absolutely buzzing about. But as this video is short, because I didn't say much about the first one because I mentioned it a lot in past videos, and obviously with this one being the 5 stars, so pretty much the only one that I've read, I am just going to do spoilers for this one, so this video is going to be just spoilers. So if you don't want to know anything about this now, then skip ahead, because it is just going to be spoilers, because I want to say, I just need to talk about it. So basically, it's about this girl that, obviously she's a pirate, she's the daughter of the Pirate King, which he's like, he rules all the pirates that like go on the sea and stuff, and they have to pay him for them to like sail, if you know what I mean. So everyone seems to hate him though, because like he's in charge of like everyone, and everyone's trying to like steal his money and all of that stuff, trying to make him like not be the leader anymore. And obviously I'm gonna say that her name's Alosa because it's spelled A-L-O-S-A, so I'm just gonna say Alosa. If I'm wrong, please correct me, but she's just gonna be called Alosa to me. So she's obviously next in line to be the Pirate Queen, which she doesn't become that in this book. Obviously she don't become that in this book, but basically it's all about her being on this mission by her dad to go and steal this map of another ship, which there's 3 parts of this map. Her dad has the first part, and there's 2 more parts that it's on 2 different ships. So basically the mission that she's on is she has to get kidnapped by this pirate crew, and she has to stay there and steal this map and then bring the ship to her dad so he can kill them all. But things kind of took a little bit of a detour. So obviously they put her in her cell and she kept on escaping, because obviously she has to go and roam the ship, but she wasn't having any luck with it, like at all. She couldn't find anywhere. She went and looked in the captain's room. I can't remember his name, but it begins with D. It's like Draxon, something like that, but I'm just going to call him the captain because that's just a difficult name to say. But his brother, which is I can't remember what it's called, it's like second hand man, something like that. No, the first hand man, I don't know, I can't remember, but he's called Raiden, which he is the brother of the captain of the ship, and it's basically just about him and Alosa, so that's all that really matters. But so she keeps on like escaping from her cell to go and explore the ship to try and find this map, and she wasn't having any luck like anywhere. She looked above deck, she looked in the captain's room, she looked like downstairs, not downstairs but like below deck, like which is where she was, but that's where all the other like crew members were sleeping in the hammocks. So she kept on having to be like really careful with it, and every single time she like got caught, but she didn't make it. Like she tried to make it so it was like she didn't mean to get caught, she didn't want to go back to the ship, but Raiden was like smarter than what I thought he was gonna be, and knew instantly, like he just caught on instantly what she was doing. And so she kept on trying to not escape, but she kept on trying to like get out of her cell, try and find this map, wasn't having any luck. And then Raiden decides that he's gonna move her to his room because she kept on escaping her cell and he kept on like not being able to risk it. So they moved her into there, which he locked the door. And oh my god, one of the best bits in the book is basically, so he puts it in his room, walks out, she starts like looking around his room, putting everything back neatly, trying to find this map, doesn't find it, and she's at that for like 2 hours or something. And then she ends up being like, why am I keeping it on nice and neat? He's locked me in here, none of them are being nice to me, why am I just gonna sit here and just put it all back neatly? So destroys his room, like trashes his room, throws all his clothes out, messes up all his maps, rearranges all his shoes, literally just puts mud everywhere, like she just ruins his room. And when he comes back in, like I think an hour later or something, she sat there drawing on all of his maps, which in the future, well not in the future, but like later on in the book, he ends up actually needing them. So it doesn't really go down well. But so she does that to like get payback, and she's like, well, you shouldn't have trusted me in your room on my own then. All of this because she didn't want to be there. She wanted to be in the cell so she kept on, so she could keep on escaping, but didn't go according to plan. And then they keep on like flirting and having banter, and it's so cute and it's so funny. But so she keeps on like trying to wind him up, and he's like doing it back, but he seems to be annoyed a lot easily, like a lot more easily than she is. So it just makes it like even more funny, and carries on going on like that. And then you start seeing that they're catching feelings. Obviously none of them admit it, none of them are gonna admit it because they're enemies, like they're not even meant to be liking each other or anything like that, but you can see that they definitely start liking each other. And it goes on like that for a while, and I'm pretty sure she tried to escape again. Oh wait, no, that's not what happened. So basically, so the captain was like, because you keep escaping and we can't leave you like in Raiden's room anymore because she destroyed his room, and he wasn't risking that either. So they were like, well, we're just gonna make you come and clean the decks then. And she wasn't having any of it because she's obviously the captain of her own ship, which she has. So she was like, no, I'm not doing that. So they ended up hanging her from a rope, like so her feet obviously weren't touching the floor or anything. She was like above the deck, so where all the men were like working, because she's the only girl that's on the ship. And she like stays there all day because he's trying to punish her. And it gets to the point that she tries to escape it, comes back down, and then she like holds herself up for a few hours, but because obviously it's going to be really tiring, she ends up just having to like let loose and just hang there. And obviously she was like, her wrists were bleeding and stuff, but she was there. And then Raiden like took proper care of her afterwards, and he was like apologising. He was like, I know it was my idea to do it, but I didn't know we was going to keep you there all day. Like I thought it was only going to be like a few hours or something to like punish you. I didn't mean for any of that to happen. He kept on apologising, like helped her with her wounds and stuff, like bandaged her up and all, which that's just like showing that he likes her. I just don't know why none of them seen it like at all. Like it was so annoying. And that kept on going on, and then basically they like she gets off the ship because she ends up finding the map like later on, because it just carries on going on about how it was, like they keep on just flirting and stuff like that. But she ends up thinking that the captain has the map on him, because obviously that's what captains usually do. So she ends up thinking that, and then goes and searches him, knocks him out in the process because they were going to do the deed, but she was like, I don't want to do that. So she knocked him out instead. Then when she realised that he didn't have it, she went to Raiden, was trying to do the same tactic but sang him to sleep, because plot twist, she's half siren and half pirate. So she has like powers, and one of them is she can sing them to sleep, and they don't like remember any of it, but they kind of just knock out for hours. But because she'd used her song on Raiden like a lot of times over the past few days, she didn't have that much left of her song left. So she ended up just having to use what she had, so she didn't have that much time left to actually go and like find this map, obviously send him to sleep and find this map. But she ends up realising like, so on, you know, like at the front of the ship when they end up having like a statue, it's usually like a woman at the front of it. basically she was like, it's probably going to be there, because where else? Because it was like meant to be a siren, the girl that she had, like they had on the front of the ship. So she went and checked, found out it was in the eye of this siren girl on the front of the ship. Then she comes up and the captain and Ryden are both there, and they're like, we know that we had the map, we know all about, we know what it leads to and all of this. We just didn't know where it was, so, and we realised that you were trying to find it, so we were just letting you find it to give it to us. Like, so they tricked her into it. And it kind of just goes on for there, so they knock her out then, and she wakes up and she's on an island, in a cage, and it's like the other, like, pirate that, the other one that has the other part of the map ends up being the one that's caught her, but they have Ryden as well, and she's like confused with why he's there, because half of like their crew is like, well not half, but like 4 of them are like on this other pirate's crew as well, so backstabbers. And basically she ends up, well I think he was called Victor, the other pirate. So he wanted to know what powers she has, because he knows about sirens, he knows what they could do, he knows that they're powerful, he just didn't know like what extent like the powers are. And obviously he'd caught Alosa, which is part siren, so he was using her to try and learn about what powers the sirens have, because he's planning on going to this island that the 3 maps lead to, because it's like 100-year-old treasure that's there, if not older, I can't remember. But he ends up getting her to like show him what she can do, otherwise they were gonna kill Ryden. And obviously she was like starting to get really protective over him because they started liking each other. So she started like showing him what she can do, and then Ryden, like, because the way that she like gains her powers back is from the sea, hence like siren. So they weren't giving her that much, and she was like getting so drained out, so she couldn't get out of the cage or anything like that. And they had like 2 buckets of water from the sea to like give her, so she could use the her powers, but it was only like a glass full that they were giving her each time, so she wasn't strong enough to get out. But Ryden ends up like getting the bucket, tries to give it her, gets caught, gets shot. Not like, he's not dead, but he gets shot in like the shoulder, I think. And then he tries it again, and he ends up putting his head in the water. They end up pulling him back, and then he ends up like spitting it all over her. She gets out, kills like everyone else, and then saves Ryden because he gets shot again in the kneecap. And yeah, it kind of just goes on from there, and then she saves him, and then the Pirate King comes onto the ship so Ryden's brother's ship comes onto that. He wants to go and kill them all, but he doesn't, because Alosa's like, well no, I want to keep him captive, and Ryden keeps on saying to Alosa, don't kill my brother, I know he was like, I know that he's not nice or anything like that, but don't kill him. So she doesn't, keeps him prisoner, and then they kind of just like start really liking each other, and then she like gets him medical attention, saves his life, and then that was the end of the book. That was the end of it. So I'm annoyed at that, but I really can't wait to read the second one, because the second one is Daughter of the Siren Queen, so I think this is all going to be about her mum. And I feel like Ryden and Alosa are going to have kids, because the reason why, because like there's a theory that if a siren catches like a man, she never lets him live or anything like that, but the Pirate King's the only one that's ever like slept with one and lived to tell a tale, and also had Alosa. So it's because the siren pulled him down, he kissed her, and then she took him back up. And when Alosa was trying to save Ryden, the same thing happened. So I'm hoping that they have a kid because they're just so cute together, but that's pretty much all that happened. But I did rate it a 5-star because it was really good. It took me 5 days to read, like 10 hours or something like that, but it was such a good book. And to be honest, it's actually a really good book to be reading this summer and spring. So if you do want another recommendation for now, this time of year, then this is definitely the book. Like, first fantasy I've read and probably my favourite book that I've ever read, so definitely like this one. Can't wait to read the next one, and I'm waiting for the third one to come out. But that's gonna be it for this video. I probably won't post Friday because on Monday I go to London, and that's just gonna be a long video. I'm gonna end up recording this week part of London, so it's probably gonna be like 2 weeks, well, less than 2 weeks recording that video. So probably won't post on Friday. If I do, I do. If I don't, then I don't. I'll put it on my Instagram now if I do. But just keep checking, and I'll keep you updated on my Instagram. But this is it for this video. So please like, comment and subscribe, and hopefully I'll see you in the next video.